All right, y'all. So let me talk a little bit about fibromyalgia and degenerative disc disease, and maybe a tiny bit about PTSD, but we'll see how that rolls in. All right, so it's been a little while since I've had a vlog about the chronic illness that I have. The pain mostly is something that affects me every day, and it's in my mid-back, and it makes you feel like you want to fall over. You just have like that strain, like you feel like you've just been doing too much on your back all day. It just hits you like a fucking ton of bricks, like someone hit you in the back with a bat, and it's just there, man. It doesn't go away. It's like you want to pop your back or something, but you can't. You cannot pop your back. I've tried everything. Thing is, I know what it is. It's the hemangioma that's in my back. It's that exact spot that's causing pressure to push on the nerve, on my central nerve of my spinal cord. That shit doesn't feel good. That shit doesn't feel good, but this makes it feel better. So what this is Blueprint Air Melon. I tried all the other ones out, thought it was great, and then I tried the Air Melon. Just giving that last one, you know, sativas, all that stuff, right? So, putting all that indica and sativa aside, how this one makes me feel compared to the others, I could smoke this one all day. I feel like my head kind of opens up. Not to say my third eye. I had an itch, sorry. Okay, it's like you have your eyes closed kind of like this for too long, and that's how you kind of see the world, and then someone goes like this, and your eyes are like in IMAX mode, right? Not literal, but I could say that's kind of the way it makes your head feel. Like, oh, I have this room to think now. I have this room to be in this space and in this time. Enjoying myself without pain. Because the pain goes away. And if you look at research, you look at all the stuff that's coming out, I mean, pick and choose your information, where you get it, whatever. But for the majority, they're finding that between the CB1 receptors that run in your brain and your spinal cord versus the CB2 receptors that are more in your gut and your immune system, indica and sativa affect in different ratios. So for instance, like this one might affect my CB2 receptor about 20-30%, but then my brain and all that other stuff about 70%. So that's what people would talk about hybrids. So you see that percentage jump, right? And that's really the breakdown for at least the difference between the two, if you want to look at it like scientifically. But so put that in practical terms. What does that mean for everybody? Because like say that doesn't mean anything. So you say that, it doesn't really mean anything. But when you put it in terms of classifications of diseases and how they affect the body, scientific studies have shown that fibromyalgia is both neurological and affecting your immune system. So if you have a medication that impacts both of those systems and helps supplement the cannabinoids that you're missing and lacking, that's why this works. And that's why smoking it in a flower form is what works the best. This is as full spectrum as you can get, whether or not we know scientifically the other, many cannabinoids that are in here and how they affect and what combination and all that stuff for our bodies. Once you start understanding the science of how this burns and why it burns and why that matters, the heating up at this end, and that heats up cannabinoids here that you're also getting at a certain temperature, and it releases different cannabinoids at different temperatures, guys. Like, this stuff's, a cart can't do that, guys. Maybe it can heat it up. You might get like a little bit. Most of the carts I get, maybe I've drawn it too hard. Most of the liquid ends up out the straw, out the top. Because half the time they gotta heat up, they gotta, whatever. But whatever, I like smoking this stuff, guys. It helps me. Now, let's talk about some degenerative disc disease. All right. So, obviously, I know the day it happened. I came home from working at Round Table after doing like a 16-hour shift, and my back was shot. Like, I was like in pain shot. So then I go into my grandparents' house. At the time, I was living with my grandparents. This is after my mom passed. My dad kicked us out, and then my grandparents took me in. I was working at Round Table as a supervisor. But I took on 16-hour dough roller shifts. They were fun, man. That's like one of the funnest jobs ever. Blast your music, lift some dough, make pizza skins. It's buffet time by the time you take lunch, so you get to eat pizza on lunch, have a salad, whatever you want. You go outside for a smoke. They let you chill. You got like an hour-long lunch. It was nice, man. It was nice. But it was murder on your back, murder on your hands. Definitely formed carpal tunnel from that, and had issues playing guitar after that job. Yeah, that sucked. And that's when it all started, man. Honestly, that is when it all started back then. At least the main back stuff. And if the back stuff over time led to fibromyalgia through the stress of my other job, it makes sense. I did powerlifting for a little bit there. My back was okay when I was doing powerlifting, but I think that's because I had a lot of muscle, a lot of supporting back tissue. I definitely feel that I got soft tissue damage during the pandemic. Staying inside all the time, not really working out too much, but then being stressed because we were taking care of our baby, and I was working full-time as a death registrar during the peak pandemic of a generation. What the fuck? So they started giving me nothing but death at that job. That put me in a lot of stress, man. I was doing like birth certificates and then other stuff, and then some death, you know what I mean? And it kept it balanced. But when you see nothing but death all day for over a year, nah, man. You can be as cool as you want. Y'all can keep that shit. That's not for me, man. So, I used to be into metal. I used to be in all kinds of stuff, man. Rock, all that stuff. And I started realizing, like, outside of the fake privileged not reality that shit was, the anger, you're super privileged if you get to be angry about life. Yeah. Because the rest of us don't get a chance to be angry about life. We got to keep fucking living. So, get back to it, you know? So, I think it's funny that I took on that job on accident. I just thought it was cool at first, and then after a little while, it became not cool, and then I was stuck. And being stuck at something, that's what they say it can cause extra stress too. So, I woke up one day, and I wasn't able to get out of bed because I couldn't move my legs. I had a twinge in my back. I must have slept wrong, and I couldn't go to work, so I couldn't even get up. Like, I seriously couldn't walk. I started to be able to move my legs again. The blood flow or whatever came back. It was scary, man. But it took a while, and it hurt like someone broke my back. Fast forward a little bit, I ended up talking to my brother, and he ends up reminding me that when I fell out of a window when I was 3, I not only broke my neck, but then I also broke my back over this bike that we had. So, surprise, you have a crazy injury from when you were 3. Yeah, man, it's crazy, right? So, I probably said all this before, but I just want to say, man, like, these disabilities and this stuff, is kind of a joke. It's kind of ridiculous. I wish our system was set up differently to where I didn't have to take all this time off. I could still work, because I can still work. I can still do something. It's just, the reality is I need a job so I can take care of my family, so my wife can have a break. I got a break for about 5 or 6 months, try and heal, get this straight, figure this out, and I did. I've been doing that. So now I feel like it's time for me to go back and she can take the break, because her job, she needs a break. She needs a break. She's been working this whole time, including the pandemic, after all that. You know what I mean? After having a baby and a C-section, she is a fucking champ, man. My wife is a fucking champ. She's the real one right there. I'm a lucky man. But that's why I need to get back in this, so that she can take the break. So I'm looking to become either a cultivation tech, brand ambassador, something, man. I need to get a job in this cannabis industry because my family needs it. I need to get back in there, and I can do it. And I'm passionate. I'm fucking ready. Let's fucking go. Like, the only caveat to me in general is that I have to smoke. I have to smoke because I have a pain condition. That's all I usually tell people. I don't tell people I have all this extra stuff. I'll leave them here if they want to know, but the rest of me, you know what I mean? That's why see, the sativa be making you think. Whew, look at how far we are. Damn. But yeah, opens up the headspace. The Air Melon opens up the headspace, man. You dive off the deep end. It's great. It's great. Smoke's good, man. Tastes good all the way down. Yep, still has that same taste. Whew. Deep oils, though. Look at this. This is dark. Darkness. But it's good as catching it. Catches it in this filter. It's good. All right. So, just to speak a little bit about the pain that gets taken away from this medication of fibromyalgia, degenerative disc disease, PTSD. PTSD has its own set or form of pain. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, it's like an ache, you get tremors and weird stuff, man. It's like you just get, I don't know exactly how to put it into terms. You just turn into an asshole. You're just an asshole. It's not good. It's not good. I'm not a natural person to be mean to anybody. My mom raised me right. I'm a gentleman. Take time, patience, and just always watching everyone in the room. You know what I mean? Because I'm on guard. Feel me? But it's just a natural way of being. You know what I mean? Your parents might have had a similar conversation with you when you were younger on how to be vigilant, right? But this medication helps to really just give you this feeling of like a cool, like a cool blanket was just put on. If your pain was like fire, like a cool blanket just got put on top of you. You're no longer in fire pain. You're able to just relax now. Not just bodily relax. I mean, we're talking like emotionally relax. That quiver that you get in your chest when you're anxious, you can just relax that and you can finally breathe. A lot of time my ribs pop out of place when I sleep, so I gotta pop my back and like my ribs kind of like jostle back into place. It's crazy, man. I get this weird like rattle in the middle of my lumbar because of like my bones and cartilage all grinding on themselves because it's just disc damage and everything down there. It sucks, man. So that's the kind of stuff I wake up to, feeling very stiff, feeling very numb in different areas and stuff like that. And then you get out of it. You wake up, you shake out of it because carpal tunnel has gone away, or the pain in your feet and all that stuff on the nerves has not woken you up this morning, so you're like not jumping out of bed. And sometimes you have to jump out of bed. Oh, it sucks, man. But this medication helps, man. I come out here, I do my wake and bake, and it's gone. After I do this, like right now, I'm good. I'm done. I can put everything away and go inside and just make breakfast, make eggs and cheese, ham, all that stuff. I make a deconstructed breakfast sandwich for my baby. You know, she likes to throw it everywhere anyway, so she breaks it apart, so might as well be deconstructed. So bagels and cream cheese for breakfast, definitely. Makes you hungry. It makes you hungry. So it brings your appetite out of nowhere, which helped me a lot, because when you think about it, when you're in pain all the time, you can't eat. You get the nauseous shakes when you're in too much pain, and that'll make you throw up if you eat and put too much in your stomach. So a lot of the time in 2020, I kept most of that year with an empty stomach. It sucked, man. Before that, I had lost 80 pounds in like a 3-month time period because of all the pain. So I wasn't eating. It was bad. After I came out of that, probably had malnutrition because of the depression, all that stuff. So all that happened because of a culmination of stress from work and the world. And the fact that the world was something I had to work on a daily basis, because I did everyone's death certificates. People don't stop dying, even though people are arguing on TV about whether something's happening or not. People don't stop dying. Why they die, how they died, if you knew them, the number of people that died, those are the things that really matter. It didn't matter if it said one disease or another to me. There was a certain number of people that were dying in front of me every day. And when it's like 20 and you have like 500,000 people, you're like, okay, that's not a big deal. 20 is, that's actually really low. Okay, cool. Then it became 80 and you're like, what the fuck? Like, for years I did 20 a day, and then out of nowhere today it was 80. The next day it was 78. The next day was 67. The next day was 94. Like, what the fuck is happening? So from the perspective of someone who worked it, who was an essential worker, and got tossed to the side because I got injured in the process of that essential work, I can say that I now just want to work in the cannabis industry. I just want to be around this medication that'll help me, and that's all I want to dedicate myself to. Obviously my family and all that stuff, come on guys, like, I take care of my baby every single day. I cook and feed for my family every day. Like, people are stupid, but it's just interesting how that shift can just bam, man. Like, legalization for me technically could have happened back in like 2012 because I had these symptoms back then. I could have been part of the medical for a long time. I dealt with it because that's the way you were taught. You were just taught to grit your teeth and fucking deal with it. Like, we were poor, we couldn't really go to the doctor that often. You wanted to have a condition? What are you, crazy? Yeah. So So what I'll say is it's very nice finally having a brand, finally having a good medication that I can access. I'll be following these guys wherever they go, whether it's one brand or another, you know what I mean? Like, in all reality, you know, but I'm glad it's Blueprint. I'm glad these guys got good medication. So full recommendation to anybody who out there who's listening. The Air Melon, it is good for changing that headspace, opening up your mind, getting yourself awake, being ready to take on a lot of thoughts all at once in the day because it wakes you up, man. It really does. Wakes you up mentally in that spatial awareness for just your perception. It's kind of crazy. My sense of hearing is sharper. It's kind of crazy. It works. I do know that the P90 is something that hits you and puts you to sleep. It actually puts me to sleep. And that's crazy for me, considering how much I usually smoke. Like 1 J of the P90 will just knock me out, dude. It's good. Perfect. That's what I need because I have insomnia. So, you know what I mean? Last night I got a full night's rest. I woke up, I was like, holy shit, I slept for 8 hours. Felt good, man. Felt good. All right, guys. For the chronic illness community and the chronic pain community, stay in it. Stick strong. Because, like, just take your pain one day at a time. You know what I mean? One day at a time is still living. One day at a time, being here, being present in your own life, that's still living. Don't let anyone downplay it. And for those of you in the cannabis community, I'm looking at you. Let's go. Come on, man. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace out.